everyone, and welcome back to my channel for a speed build. Today we are making a very special build for some of my Sims. So I was filming an episode of Discovery University, and it's going to go out on Saturday, so you'll see what happens in the video because, oh my gosh, I was like, no. It was so bad. So you're going to have to watch the video to find out what happened. I know I'm such a YouTuber. I'm like, I gotta watch the video. But, yeah. So, basically Ferris and Pilot are at the end of one of their terms and they need a new place. I'm going to have them move out of the dorms because I don't know, it's just a little annoying living in the dorms, and I decided to build them an apartment. I was really inspired by Simlacy. She did this with the balcony and like changing the shape of it, and I decided to kind of mimic her idea, and I think it looks so cute that way. I like literally just finished building this like 5 minutes ago, and then I hurried up, shot all the footage together, and got ready to do the voiceover because I was really certain that I was not going to have time to put out a video on Wednesday this week. Just because like this week is a little bit chaotic for me. The next few weeks are going to be pretty chaotic, if I'm honest. So if I don't upload or you don't see me for a little bit, it's just because I have a lot of projects due and there's just a lot of homework happening. I have a 15-page paper due next Friday, and I haven't even started it. So, and on top of that, I have another speech, 2 speeches within the next few weeks. Oh my gosh, there's so much stuff going on. So, yeah, I don't want to think about how much stuff I have going on, but I just built this. It was like an hour and a half of build footage before I sped it up. I've been liking this length a little bit better of speed build. I don't like when they're super long. It's a lot easier, and I think people can watch 13 minutes of a build a lot easier than they can watch like a 30-minute speed build. So I've just been filming less, but I think you still get the gist of it, you know? So I think it makes more sense this way. Yeah, I had some stuff I was going to talk about. And I can't think of any of it right now. Okay, so, again, with my life being chaotic right now, so, my brother's school got shut down because there have been 5 cases of the virus at his school, so right now, like, basically our whole family is quarantining, that sounds so weird, the whole family is quarantined. And then we are a lot of like the whole school is shut down because of the 5 cases that we had, which I know 5 cases probably doesn't sound like a lot at a bigger school, but my brother's school is extremely small, so 5 people is a lot, and they're just like, we're just gonna take you guys online because there's no point. So they're online now, which has led to some complications already. Today is Monday the 9th. Just for some context here. So, yeah, but basically we, why am I blanking? My brother and I have to share the dining room. We're sharing the dining room table because I would love to do my Zoom calls from the basement, but the service isn't that good down here, so I can't do that. I could like work on normal homework, but if I need to talk and I need to be on Zoom, I need to have to not be in the basement because the service is too bad. So that's a problem, and our classes kind of overlap, or like he'll be trying to talk to me, and like I want to talk to him because I don't get to see him a ton because he's always like busy and stuff, but like I'm in class and I need to pay attention because my group members are counting on me and stuff, which is a little bit frustrating. So, it's just an adjustment, and it's only for 2 weeks, is what it's looking like right now, unless it starts to spiral, which fingers crossed that it does not start to spiral like crazy. So that's going on, which is a little bit, oops, that wasn't supposed to happen. And yeah, so that's what we're dealing with for the next 2 weeks, is my brother being home, which is a refreshing change because he's usually out doing a million things. I don't know how he survives. He's an extrovert. I'm an introvert. I don't understand how he can do so much. I really don't. He's like, oh, he like can't stand to sit still. He reminds me of my grandpa a little bit in that way. Because my grandpa on my mom's side is always like, I have to be doing something. I can't just sit still. Let's go do this or that. And it's really cute. So yeah. What else is going on in my life that's worth talking about? I've been back into reading. I know it's like the most boring topic, but to talk about reading, but maybe somebody wants to hear about what I've been reading lately. So I was thinking back on my childhood and my teenage years, and I was remembering this book series that I read when I think I was in middle school. I was probably in like 8th grade, 9th grade, somewhere in there. Maybe 7th. I'm not really too sure. But anyway, that's beyond the point. So I remembered that there was this series that I read back in the day that like, oh my God, like it was so good. And so I was like, I have to go find this series. And I remembered the name. The name is The Lunar Chronicles. And they are such good books. Oh, I just bumped the table. But they're such good books. So I I literally drove 45 minutes there, 45 minutes back to this specific Books A Million store that said that they had the box set of the books. I go in there, they don't have the box set. I'm like, what? I drove all the way here to get the box set. But I ended up being able to buy exactly the books that I wanted, and it ended up being cheaper. And the books were not that expensive to get like the paperbacks. I really wanted the hardcovers because I already had one of the books in a hardcover, and so I was like, I really wish I could have like them all in hardcovers, but it would have been twice as expensive, and the books were only $10 a piece, and they would have been $20 a piece if I would have got them in hardcovers, and they didn't even have the hardcovers there. But so I get the books and I take them home, and I've been obsessing over them ever since. I've been reading, and they've been so good. They're just as good as I remember them. And I'm like sitting there like, oh my God, like these books are so good, and I'm so glad that I own them so that in a couple more years I can reread them again. And like, oh. So basically, I'll tell you a little bit about the premise. So basically, the series is, it's set way, way, way in the future, like way, way, way in the future, where like people live on the moon, like there's a separate species of like, they've like humans, they were humans, but they evolved, and they have these special powers, and they live on the moon, but, the protagonist is from Earth, sort of. I don't want to spoil anything, but the whole thing is like it's set really far in the future in this dystopian world, but it's based off of like the storylines are based off of like fairy tales. So like the main character, her name is Cinder, and she is supposed to be like Cinderella, but instead of having like the shoe, if the shoe fits, instead of that, she's a cyborg, and she loses her foot during the ball, and like stuff like that. Like, and then we have Scarlet, and instead of the big bad wolf, she ends up like falling in love with this like mutant lunar wolf. Like it's like a lunar person, but they get like mutated with a wolf, and she like falls in love with him, and it's really cute. And then there's like Cress is she's supposed to be like Rapunzel, but instead of living in a in a tower, she lives in a satellite that's orbiting Earth, like stuff like that. It's like so cool. Like, I love it. And like what's really cool is that the storylines like flow together. So the whole storyline is based off of Cinder, but with each new book you're gaining a new character. So there's Cinder, and then Scarlet's story weaves in until they meet, and then Cress's story weaves in until they meet, and then Winter's story weaves in until they meet, and then everything comes to a head and they defeat the evil person. I don't want to give too much away because, oh my god, it's so good. It's so good. I remember I read the series back in the day with my friend, one of my best friends from high school, and we would like freak out and like talk about it all day, and we were like, oh my god, when this happened and when this happened and blah, blah, blah. Because we're a little geeky, like, we're so excited. But it's such a good series. If you have the opportunity to read it, please do, because it's so good. And I'm like, oh my god, I'm so glad I own the books. And the art on the front of the books, the paper books, the art on the front is so beautiful. Like, oh my god. I'm like freaking out. But oh my gosh, I'm on book 2 right now, but I've already read it before, so I'm on book 3. What am I talking about? I just started book 3, and there's 4 books plus 2 like kind of side books, like breakaway books that are like just extra detail, you know? But yeah. So what was I saying? I'm on book 3. But because I have already read the series, I feel totally comfortable to just read ahead if I like to look ahead if I want to at stuff, like, and it's just nice. Ever since I got back into reading recently, I have had a hard time with books that I've never read before. I just can't get into them. I don't know what it is. It's kind of like people who watch the same TV show over and over again because it's predictable and they know what's going to happen. I think it's kind of like that. I don't like the anxiety of like, oh my god, like what's going to happen to Cinder? Is she going to get something happening to her? I know what happens in the end. I remember what happens in the end. That it all works out. And sometimes I have to tell myself like it works out in the end, which is so like stupid, but I don't know, I just get so invested and I'm like, oh, they're so sweet. Like, I think my favorite relationship, at least so far, like we haven't had Cress with her love interest yet, but right now my favorite love situation is Scarlet and Wolf. And I love Scarlet so much because she has like a sassy French accent. It's so fun. But anyway, sorry to just geek out for so long here, but I'm just very excited if you can't tell. So anyway, I'm going to wrap up this video right here because we're coming up on the end. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.